Hello, today I'm going to be sharing with you how to tweak traditional yoga so that we're able to actually burn calories and boost metabolism when we're on our mats, when we're doing our practice. Most of us know traditional yoga is great for so many things, but burning fat is not one of them. And for most of us, we don't have the time to do like a perfect fat burning routine and a perfect yoga routine. So one of the things that I found is super helpful is combining both into one routine that you can do right from home to really help us boost our metabolism, see changes in our body while also getting the benefits of yoga, like increased flexibility, posture management, stress reduction, all of those feel-good effects. I mean, yoga is absolutely wonderful for your body, mind, spirit, all of it. And then we add in a top tier and progressive fitness routine that really helps you just see positive changes in your body and feel them at the same time too, which is great. So if you want to see the 15-minute routine, comment yoga below and I'll send it to you. Or you can just stay tuned and I can give you some tips on how to kind of change up your current routine. So when I'm referring to traditional yoga, I'm talking more about an Ashtanga, a hatha-based practice where you would take a warrior two, for example, and hold your warrior two for about 60 to 90 seconds, really focusing on the posture. And that's wonderful and great. And also, if you love that, perfect, keep doing that. I know for me, I've always been the type that moves around a lot in yoga, and I enjoy having more movement in my practice. Not only because I like how it keeps my mind engaged, but I like to really get my whole body working and moving so that everything is involved. And that's one of the ways that we increase the calorie burn, is rather than holding a stationary posture, keeping your arms moving around or moving through the posture is just naturally a little bit more work on your heart. So your heart rate is going to elevate a little bit higher. It's still in that sweet spot that's so beneficial for so many of us, like that low to moderate kind of work on the heart, but it all depends on your fitness level, of course, too. So having movement, but we use what's called dynamic sequencing, where you're always flowing from one movement to the next to keep the calorie burn going, and also to keep you engaged. So people always say, oh my gosh, like I always thought that yoga was so boring, but this is not boring at all. I'm moving through all the postures. I'm getting my heart rate up. I'm breathing. I'm in the zone. It's like a flow state, you know? It's a more flow style of yoga with hints of Pilates and yoga mixed in. Pilates and traditional fitness mixed in. Like you are gonna see a traditional more fitness style lunge and things like that, but it's often just mixed in with more of our balance poses and yoga postures. That's really just going to get you like a full body, help to get you a full body transformation. So keeping moving with dynamic sequencing is the first thing. Then of course we need progression. So I'm not just gonna say in the very first class, hey, let's do 15 push-ups from our toes. Like most of us wouldn't be able to do that. We start learning the fundamentals and you gradually get stronger. And that improvement in strength and muscle tone is what boosts metabolism. A lot of us forget that it's not like getting smaller. Actually, the smaller you get, the less you weigh, the slower your metabolism because your body's smaller, so you don't need as much food. However, if you really focus on strength and building muscle and shape in the body, by getting stronger, it's going to help to boost your metabolism. The more muscle you have, the higher your metabolic requirements and needs. And of course, the better we're going to age, the better we're going to look, the better we're going to feel. So focusing on strength and progression in your yoga practice is another thing that's key to really seeing noticeable changes. And that's where so many of us are missing out because we go to random yoga classes here and there, or we take random YouTube videos, and that's great too, for sure. But if you want to see noticeable changes in your body, it does take a little more planning and thought for most of us anyways. Consistency, planning, and thought. Now, I also like to do just little 15-minute tidbits because for a lot of us, once we get started, it feels so good. You can often end up doing more. For a lot of us, I recommend we repeat the practice 2 or 3 times, or mix and match your practices so that you can work up to 30 or 45 minutes. But for many of us, a 45-minute power flow yoga class is too much. It's too hard. So if we start at 15 minutes with more basic postures, more smaller sequences, and work our way up to longer practices, harder sequences, true like strength challenges inside planks, that's when it's like, okay, I'm seeing that I'm getting better at this. And because of that, your body's like, man, I got to keep building muscle and getting stronger. And that's when you build the shape and the curves and the strength that is going to help us lose weight and look great. So let's see if I can give you another example. Another example is we see so many traditional just planks in yoga, right? Planks are just a big part of a yoga practice. A lot of times in yoga practices, they'll just have you hold a plank for a specific amount of time, focusing on your breathing. Again, that's great, but it can feel really long compared to if you're moving. So one of my favorites is having the feet hip-width distance apart. You're gonna rock over onto the sides of your feet and lift one arm up, then come back to center. Rock over onto the other side and lift the other arm up. Now, if you're somebody who is not comfortable on your hands, you can do the same thing on your forearms and get lots of movement in that way. Then of course we have like our little power moves where it's like a very intentional, smooth, almost like a burpee movement, but it's done in a way that supports your body and really takes you gradually from a place that is very safe and works your way up, rather than like a traditional burpee, which is like jumping up, jumping back. For a lot of us, that's too much, whereas yoga burn burpee, it's just more smooth, fluid with alignment and protection of the spine and your joints while boosting your flexibility. And even me, who's been doing this for 18 years, still gets my heart rate up, still challenges me, but in a way that feels good and manageable, and in a way that helps me see noticeable results when I'm consistent and stick to it. You don't need any equipment. A yoga mat is great. If you don't have it, that's fine. But this is the exact routine that started it all. I mean, yoga burn became so popular so quickly, really early on. And it has a lot to do with how transformative this program was to the lives and bodies of women of all different ages and lifestyles and all of that. That's really what started it all. And from there, we did all different programs. But this one foundationally definitely has the proof behind it that it has changed so many people's lives and bodies right from home. And I believe that it can do the same for you too. So I hope this made sense and was informative. If you want to see more about dynamic sequencing or some of my favorite sequences, like little routine that you could try, let me know and I will do a video on that for sure as well. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the mat. Big hugs. Lots of love. Bye-bye.